Hi guys! So as you can tell by me not having makeup on my face today, we're going to slap some on there and do a makeup transformation inspired by really creepy voodoo dolls. Also maybe a little bit of mixture of the movie 9. If you haven't seen that, it's so out there, creepy, kind of scary. I love it. But I want to do some sort of like doll puppet that's sewn together and stitched. So I thought a voodoo doll would be perfect. So let's get started with the tutorial. So before I started, I already put on my moisturizer and primer. I used Cetaphil and the Professional by Benefit. And just so you know, I am not completely naked. I am wearing a bandeau top so that I could paint on my chest as well. I decided to do my hair very curly for this, for a messy doll that was just thrown around. Now we're going to conceal those eyebrows. And if you've been watching for a while, you know how it is. We put on some Elmer's glue, let it get tacky, then put on a layer of powder. And then once that's dry, you put on another thick layer of Elmer's glue, get that tacky, fan it, let it dry a little bit, and then you put another layer of powder. Now we're gonna hide those eyebrows even further. I'm taking a CoverGirl concealer stick and wiping that all over my eyebrows. Under my eyes where my dark circles are, a little bit on my eyelids, on the sides of my nose, the bridge of my nose, some on my chin and spots where I think it needs to be covered, like blemishes, and some on my forehead. We are going to do a blank canvas, and I'm going to get my very favorite foundation, which is Ket Cream Foundations, and dab that on the spots of my skin where the concealer isn't. Then I'm going to get a foundation brush and blend in my eyebrow concealer. And once that's all blended, we're going to get a damp beauty blender and blend in the rest of our makeup. We did the foundation brush first because you don't want the wet beauty blender to mess up all of that glue layers that we put on our eyebrows. Putting more concealer in spots where you need it, and also we are going to conceal our lips like a really weird flesh tone lipstick. And then put some Ket Cream foundation on there as well to blend it into your skin. Like I said, you want a very blank canvas so that we can work on it. And once your foundation's all placed on, you're going to get that matte face powder used on your eyebrows with a giant fluffy face brush and set all of the makeup on your face you just did. Now I'm going to get a light brown eyeliner pencil and start drawing in the design of the voodoo doll. I am drawing a giant circle around my right eye, that's your left. That's going to be a giant button eye. Reminds me a little bit of Coraline. I love that movie. And then on the other eye, we're going to do a slash mark of an X right through your eye. Don't draw this on top of your eyeball, over your eyelids. Make sure you have your eyelids closed while you're doing these. Then we're going to do a dashed line on our forehead and straight across. We're going to make it like an opened wound almost, but it's going to be like the open stitching of the voodoo doll across your forehead, straight down the bridge of your nose, down your cupid's bow, right down the middle of your face, on your lips, and down all the way to your chin. And then you could do a smile. You could do it all the way across if you want, but I'm just doing to the corners of my eyes. And I'm going to have a gaping, weird mouth, so I'm putting a line below my bottom lip and a line a little bit below it. Taking that center line again that we did in the middle of our face, down our neck and down our chest, all the way in the center, as steady as you could get it. And then on the side of where your heart is, I'm going to take that eyeliner pencil and draw in a heart patch. It doesn't have to be intricate. You don't have to include it if you don't want to. Then I'm going to draw a pin needle that's going to be attached to that heart and on the other side of my chest. Then the dashed lines from my shoulders to my armpits that are going to be like the stitching on where my arms are attached to the voodoo doll. And once you're all done with that, you're going to get a light brown and a darker brown makeup colors. I used my Makeup Forever palette to mix in some brown and white to whatever color that I thought was good with my skin tone. You want a little bit darker, you could add some whites or yellows or reds, just different hues of browns. But I'm just taking a thin eyeliner brush and doing dash marks all across my face. You're going to want to do it at a diagonal motion, taking one lighter color and doing that first in one direction. It's gonna be like wood grain kind of, and you're gonna do it all on your face, on your neck, on your chest, on your arms. You could do some thinner and some thicker than others. Of course, if you don't have a Makeup Forever palette, you can use any type of cream Halloween makeup. I'll list in the description box other options. And then you're going to get the other shade, the darker shade of brown, and do it on the opposite crisscross pattern. Again, it's going to look really weird, but it's going to give you this really cool texture. You're going to look like a really freaky, weird Pinocchio kind of, because it reminds me of wood, but it has cross stitching of like woven baskets, like the ones you see, the wickered baskets on the bottom of a hot air balloon. I so want to go on a hot air balloon right now. My dream. Let's get on with the video. Make sure you get it all over your chest and arms like I said, but don't do it over the designs that we drew, like the heart and the button eye and the mouth. It kind of also looks like the scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz. Now some fun parts. I'm getting a giant fan brush. This is a paintbrush just from an art supply store with the brown paint. It's going to be darker than the hatch marks you just drew, and you're going to do like little lines everywhere. Lightly brush it on your skin so that it gives more texture to give it that burlap sack type material that's been sewn together. Like I said, just do this very lightly all over. And once you're done with that, we're going to get a matte brown eyeshadow. It could be a little bit darker than the brown paint we just used, and a fluffy giant eyeshadow brush, and we're going to do some contouring so that it's not so harsh of a line and it's going to blend into your hairline. You're going to do that on your chin and on the sides of your face. You can use a bigger clean brush to blend it in and down the center of our face, because it's going to give like a shadow. Lines of eyeliner we did that are attaching our shoulders to our body. Don't forget your mouth area. You could do a gaping mouth or not. You could also do it around the eye and on the stitching of the cross mark of your eye, because this is where we're going to put all the stitching later on. Don't forget to do the top of your forehead as well. Now I'm just getting a matte red eyeshadow with an eyeshadow brush, and we are going to put this where the gaping stitch marks on our forehead is. It's going to be like an open cloth, like being torn apart on its head. We're also going to put this on our bottom lip and under it as well to have that gaping mouth. Then last but not least, we're going to color in that heart. Once you have the heart and everything filled in that needs to be red, we're going to get some red face paint and put that on the edges of the red eyeshadow that we did on our forehead and in our mouth. It's gonna look really creepy, like this doll is being torn open a little bit to reveal actual blood or human flesh underneath. The voodoo doll is gonna go above and beyond really creepy. That's just how I like to do it. Then I got some makeup remover with a Q-tip and removed some makeup around the heart, a line to be exact, because I want to put a needle stuck in that heart, because of course we are a voodoo doll. It's like a very creepy pin cushion that's in human form. So I'm getting some white and some silver makeup with a very thin paintbrush and doing the white and then silver on top of it to form the needle mark. Then I'm just forming another needle mark on the other side of my chest and one on my eye right above, stabbing into that X. Again, you're layering white makeup and then silver over it because it's going to make the silver pop. If you don't have silver face paint, you can use white face paint and then silver eyeshadow over that. Then I'm going to get some very matte bright green eyeshadow with my finger and tap that in that button eye. And we're going to have this button very green. I think my brain was going more towards the movie 9. Again, you should watch that movie. I really wanted my voodoo doll to have a giant button eye, so this is going to take shape of it later. Now getting that white and silver layer again, I am making some X and dash marks in like a square shape, because these are going to be like staples or tape, whichever you prefer. They could be pieces of duct tape or staples, and do that on the stitched brown lines that we drew in before. You want a very steady hand when you do this. Just place as many as you want in very random places, not too close together on the stitch lines. And once that's done, I'm going to get a matte gray eyeshadow and start doing in the shadows of where the needles are stuck into this voodoo doll, because you want it to be as realistic as possible. I want them to look like real needles. You could put some shadow under the needle head and around it. Do that to all 3 needles on your body. Make sure you have all the shadows of the needles going in one direction to make it more realistic. And then we're going to do a shadow mark on the button to make it more deep set and more realistic like a real button. On the top of your eyelid and on the bottom. And then you could do 2 or 4 dots on what you want your button to look like. Either way, whichever you want. You don't even have to do it green. You could do it whatever color you want. Now I'm just taking some black paint, and with a very thin eyeliner brush, I am doing the lines on where the stitch marks are. But first, I decided to outline those staples as I go, and I'm getting some black liquid eyeliner because it has a very precise tip to do the outlines of those staples, make them pop more and make them look like staples. Or, of course, they could be pieces of tape, whatever your imagination wants to take it to. And then with that liquid liner, you also want to do the outline of the needles that we painted on our body. And once all those staple or tape marks and the needles are outlined, we're gonna go back with that black paint and a very thin eyeliner brush and do the threading on the button as realistic as you want it to, so it looked like it's sinking in and was a real thing that went over an eye or acts like an eye. Outline the outside of that button as well. Girl, remember, if you make a mistake, you can just fix it. It's makeup. Continue with that black paint on the other eye and do the dashed lines of that X, crossing it over your eye while it's closed. Of course, you don't want black makeup all in your eyeball. Now that we look like a depressed clown / scarecrow, we are going to do the black lines of all the other stitching on this body. Now this took a long time. It took me around an hour just to do the stitching because you have to have a very steady hand. All on those shadow brown eyeliner lines that we did before, making sure that you're not crossing over the tape staple areas. You want this to look inset and realistic as you can. That's why we did the brown before, and you want to do dash lines, as many as you can, just little ones that are going to be smaller than the tape and the staple marks that we made. And remember those gapping areas of the red, you can make them shadowed with some black. You want it to look like it's being pulled apart like the cloth to reveal maybe blood underneath. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And then I'm taking down that stitch line down my neck, again making sure not to go over those designs of the tape and everything. Heads up, you want to be careful on doing the dash lines here because I put them, but they might get messed up later when you move your head. Might smear on your neck. This will give it more definition and look like it was really cut out of cloth or out of your own skin. And then I'm doing the black stitch lines around that heart as well that has the needle through it. It's always creepier when it's on the actual side that your real heart is. You get some makeup remover on a Q-tip and fix the areas that may have gotten messed up, like I said, with the neck. And once you finish those stitch marks on your face, on your body, and around that heart, our voodoo doll look is complete. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. This was so much fun to make. It took me around 3 hours. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Leave a comment down below on what type of transformation you would like to watch next. And this was probably one of the easiest transformations to take off, although the red pigment and the black lines do stain a little bit. All the products I use in this video will be listed down below. Excuse my finger, it's wrapped up in a bandage right now because I just had surgery on my finger. Nothing too major, I'm okay. But it'll be wrapped up for a month just to let you know in future videos. Again, I hope you guys enjoy these makeup transformations. I'm trying to do at least 3 a month. These take like 3 days to make, crazy. But you guys make this so much fun for me, and hopefully we could do more in the future. And I love you all. See you soon. Bye.